Good evening, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Manning Field here in Lynn, Massachusetts. I'm your announcer tonight, Sean Donahue, and you're watching GBL Soccer as the Lady Bulldogs face off and host the Lady Crimson Tide out of Everett. I want to say thanks to our crew. We got Rebecca and Zach up in the perch today, bringing you these smooth and steady shots. Right now, Lynn English standing at a number 10 spot in the GBL, hosting number 6 Everett today. Kickoff is underway, and a first half is ongoing. Everett is in black, English is in maroon, and I am in the press box. Starting out this one, English with a record of 1-10-1. Their last game, a loss to Chelsea 3-1 in favor of Chelsea. Chelsea moving on in the rankings for the GBL. Everett coming in with the number 6 seed ranking. 4 wins, 7 losses, and 1 tie. Last game, a loss 2-0 versus Lynn Classical. Next game for the Lady Bulldogs is going to be versus Somerville this week. We'll be here to cover it, 4 p.m. start. And next game for Everett is versus Classical at home. Both teams coming off a loss to Chelsea. Chelsea irking their way up into the ranking system. And so far, so good. A little bit back and forth. And a bit of a defensive struggle, as we would call it. Stoppage in the game. And an infraction on Everett is going to benefit Lynn English. So a couple players taking some time to tie up their cleats. Seems like a beginning of the game type of thing. But what do I know? And started up for the Lady Bulldogs, wearing number 4. Halen Romero tries to get that one past the half mark, and that attempt squandered by the Crimson Tide defense. Everett working quickly to get into English territory. English working to influence it. And Everett doing what they can to make that a little bit tougher. Ever an opportunity as they move closer and closer to the net. Scream it in. Trying to save that one. Number 23 out of Everett. Good heads-up play. And looking for her on the roster, Casey Martinez, a senior out of Everett. Saving the attempt against goal keep today. Gabriella Menjivar in the net for the Crimson Tide. And we'll go to the corner for a kick. And my correction won't be a corner kick, but inbounding the ball will either be, well, looks like it's going to be, who do we got? That's not the inbound, Zach. Back to the corner, Zach. Annalise Reyes on the inbound. And Everett going to let that one roll out. And give Menjivar an opportunity here. Short little volley to a fellow defensive player. Interception by Annalise Reyes. Stolen right back by the Crimson Tide. And inching their way up along the sideline is Everett. English reluctant to allow it happen too quickly. On the move. Everett working to get across that half mark. And they do. 2v3 situation. Able to get past 2. And trying to get that one back, Halen Romero. Romero's attempt to move it further towards Everett territory squandered. The attacking player out of Everett. And an infraction against Everett is going to result in a turnover in favor of the Lady Bulldogs. and could have a possible injury on. So we'll get you a wide shot here, and we'll say thanks to our viewership for tuning in here on Lynn Educational Television. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, smash that notification bell for all the up-to-date sports and events happening right here in the Lynn Public School System. I'm your announcer tonight, Sean Donahue. We also like to say thanks to our Comcast and Verizon subscribers. If you're watching on Comcast and Verizon, we appreciate your subscription. Without you, we wouldn't be able to provide PEG media right here in the city of Lynn. Lynn Educational Television facilitates the educational aspect of the PEG grant and enables us to teach the curriculum at both the middle school and high school level, and also gives an opportunity for kids to gain some work experience, as gaining those jobs is a little bit tougher and tougher, but we're here to give them that opportunity. So while we have an assessment here on the player, looks like they're going to help her off, and we'll try to get you a number so we know who's in and who's out. And tough to get a number, but we'll get back to the action. Inbound's going to come from just about the goal line. And it looks like Aura Kazada is going to get that responsibility for the Lady Bulldogs. Or will it be Halen Ramiro? Ball is set on the field. Kazada barking out the orders. And the ref gives us the whistle to get moving back into gameplay. Intercepted by Everett. Everett working their way to the top of the key. One in front. Halen Ramiro doing a good job at trying to stem that opportunity for Everett. And out of bounds on Everett is going to result in an inbound for the Lady Bulldogs. Halen Ramiro, sophomore out of Lynn English, to take that responsibility. Has help from Brianna Ortega to her adjacent. She's going to go down the length of the field. And no clear indicator on possession time just yet. Certainly Everett able to spend a little bit more time in English territory. Ava Jones, last one to get the touch there for the Lady Bulldogs. And Gabriella Menjivar is coming up, cleans it up on her own, says relax defense, tries to boot one out. Jones able to stop that one, volleyed back in favor of Everett. Everett now on the move closer and closer into English territory. And tiptoeing along the boundary, 3v1 situation in favor of Everett. Everett trying to find a little bit of space. Everybody kind of bunched together right now. Ramiro screaming up, trying to stop one. And failed pass attempt. Going to bounce close enough to Aura Quezada. Quezada barks out her orders, surveys the field. Decides to send it. Gives it all she got. Bounces once and takes it over the 50. Everett defense retreats and finds himself in a favorable position. Crystal Ramiro, one of the first players to get there. That one's off of Everett, English ball. And Crystal Ramiro, senior out of English. Gonna inbound this one. A little bit of back and forth for English, trying to find themselves out of that 2v2 situation. And Lady Crimson Tide squandering that opportunity. Madeline Sun playing great this season and better each game. And putting the works on the Everett defense. That one off of English. The inbound coming from the far corner, left-hand side of your frame. English able to get to it first. Ava Jones can't get a clean handle on it. Off of Everett, that one's going to stay English ball. And now Everett on the chase. Menjivar hands that one off to a defensive player for Everett. Everett defense still struggling to get out of their own territory. They'll let that one roll off. And take another opportunity from the box. And a short little tap to get underway. Interception by Kareem Rodriguez-Aguilon. Stolen right back by the Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide with one in front, able to get past one. English now on the retreat. Good heads-up play by Jenelise Reyes to stem that opportunity for Everett. Knocked right over to London Sang. Sang pushes that one back into play. Ava Jones on an opportunity here. Looking for a little love from the referee. Isn't going to get it. Has to pop back to her feet to get back into action. Jenelise Reyes on the attempt. Squandered by the Everett Crimson Tide defense. And the inbound going to come from number 4, Halen Romero. Romero passes that one off to Madeline Sun. And Everett knocks that one out. We'll go to the corner kick. Last time these teams faced off, Everett walked away with a W, 1-0 score. And it was a last-minute goal in favor of Everett. One of their 4 wins of the season. English still working for a second win. Their first win coming against Lynn Tech with a 3-2 victory. Corner kick. Outside the net. Menjivar rolls that one over to the corner yet again. Crystal Romero going to get an opportunity for this. Had a goal in the last game, a sole goal scorer for the Lady Bulldogs. And has a couple in front. Nobody able to get a clean shot on it. Everett does what they do to influence it, but English elected to pull that one out. Everett trying to slow things down in order to find some open lanes, and English coming out with a tenacity today to close these gaps down. A header there by Halen Romero. Ends up back in Crimson Tide possession. And on the move, number 7, Emily De Jesus. De Jesus. Her attempt will be squandered and knocked away. And that one's going to be off De Jesus. And Aura Quezada on the kick. Knocked back into play by the Crimson Tide. 1v2 situation. Takes a shot attempt there, and that one outside. A shot attempt coming from number 7 out of Everett. Yeah, we'll get your number once we have it. Emily De Jesus. Quezada surveying. Going to go with a far side placement. Shouts out a few orders to fellow defenders. And a couple yards back to line up the kick. Quezada able to get that one influenced towards the 40. English now trying to fight for it. Crystal Romero last a touch. Stolen away by the Crimson Tide. Everett defense. The English defense coming up. And putting an end to that one. Madeline Sun, the defensive player to slow that advance down for the Crimson Tide. And everybody working together to get the ball in position. And first to touch on the after the infraction, Casey Martinez, senior out of Everett. And she's going to back this one up and hope she can line one up on a bounce, maybe set up a header. Takes a second attempt, tries to see where English is going to end up going defensively. An opportunity inside. Everett can't get a good, clean handle on it. Quezada fighting for it. Everett in front, knocked away by the English defense. English now advancing, trying to catch Everett out of place. Everybody's at the near side of the field. Rolls out of bounds. Everett quick to pick it up and throw it back in. 2v1 situation for Everett. English in advantage. Tiptoeing along the sideline. Gets that one closer and closer to Everett territory. And a good heads-up play by Crystal Romero. Puts a little bit too much steam on it. As that one rolls further and further away from her possession. Gabriela Menjivar on the inbound. Quick little short pass over to the defensive player. And a bit of volley back and forth between our GBL rivals here at the half mark. Kamomi Mon, junior out of Lynn English. Fighting for it at about the half mark, loses possession. And the Everett defense playing up tight. Off of the Crimson Tide. And English to inbound. Far side of the field. First to get the touch, Ava Jones. And off of Jones, that will result in a Crimson Tide ball. Good high kick to get that one out of English territory. English with a 2v1 situation. Defense reluctant to allow it to go any further. Another volley back and forth. Everett not able to get a clean handle on that one. Rolls out of bounds. And English quick on the inbound. Knocked right back out by the Crimson Tide. Trying to allow that defense to get back into position. So the inbound coming from number 14, Kerry Rivera. Rivera gets that ball pushed right back to her. Rolls out of bounds. Off of Everett. That one's going to stay English ball. The inbound coming. First to touch is one of the Lady Crimson Tide players. A high boot bounces up and over the English bench. Crystal Romero first to get the touch. That one out of bounds off of Everett. Further and further into Crimson Tide territory. And a correction. That's the Everett bench. Everybody wearing the pink pennies and observation of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Good heads-up play by Halen Romero to slow things down. Romero, one of the first to get there. 3v1 situation. Brianna Ortega to clean things up, knock that out of bounds. And Everett going to get to work in Bulldog territory. And just saving it, number 3, Melanie Ribeiro. And an opportunity there squandered. English picks it up. London Seng to inbound for the Lady Bulldogs. And first to get the touch, we're in number 22 out of Everett. Is Sophia Ariana Quintanilla. And Everett playing in bunched. Same thing as English. No open lanes. Everybody's trying to fight for it. And that one rolls off of the English feet. That one's going to be in favor of... What's up, bud? Do you know where Mr. Erg is? He'll be here. Short, soon. But, yeah, just sit tight. Everett has an opportunity there, and you can see the expression coming off the face of number 3 out of Everett. Seeing an opportunity there. Melanie Ribeiro, one of the last to touch. And Halen Romero gets that one over to Quezada. Quezada got a line up from the far corner at the top of the key. Quezada surveying. Knocks that one over to the adjacent. Finding Crystal Romero. Romero's ball stolen away by the defenders out of Chelsea. That one rolls off of, Everett. That one rolls off of Everett. And an inbound for English. English, a beneficiary of a lot of inbounds here. Going a little shallow on the throw-ins. And much of their attempts stopped abruptly by the Crimson Tide. Everett still working their way in. Closer and closer. They got the lanes, and they got the numbers as they're able to advance. Can they keep the passes clean enough? Opportunity here stopped by Quezada. Quezada playing her best soccer this season. Senior out of Lynn English. Gets a solid boot on that one. One bounce and just over the 50. And Giselle Lemus has been a force at that half mark for the Crimson Tide. One of the first to close in and get a handle on the ball. Inbound coming near side of the field. Halen Romero surveying. Looking to see where she'll go on the throw-in. And Everett with an opportunity there. A 2v1 situation. Rose Zepeda trying for it there. And that ain't Everett defense closed in closely. On the push. 2v1 situation. Everett cleaning it up. Romero trying again. Knocks it right back to the Crimson Tide. Everett fighting. Romero able to get there. And it looked like it bounced off of Everett. But they're going to get the throw in near side of the field. Melanie Ribeiro with position there. And we'll go with the corner. And goes with a throw-in. Everett trying to create a little bit of space and try to find some lanes here, getting it over to the players with the best skills to get past 2 or 3. That English defense retreating pretty quickly and putting a stop to any advance by the Crimson Tide. Last time these teams matched up, Everett walked away with a victory, 1-0. It seems like it's going to be that way just yet again. Back and forth, Everett reluctant to allow anything move past. English able to influence that one closer to Everett territory. Squandered away by number 11, Rosa Romero. Off of Everett, that one's going to be English ball. Inbound, far side of the field. And Everett with the first touch there. That one rolls out. And they get another attempt here. Able to get that one over to Crystal Romero. Romero influences it inside. Everett with an opportunity. Closer and closer into Everett territory. The shot coming off of the foot of number 3, LEHS Reyes, a sophomore out of Lynn English. And gobbled up by that defense from the Lady Crimson Tide. Coming up close and chomping at the bit, number 4, Giselle Lemus. And best take yet by English there. Sophia Arana Quintanilla, a big part of the effort to advance. Shot attempt there, knocked away. And almost able to get in. I'm not sure what the call's going to be. And that was hairy. Aura Quezada must have gone to church this past Sunday because she got a few prayers answered on that one. Long kick right into Crimson Tide territory. Arana Quintanilla able to get there. Closing in, the striker out of Everett, wearing number 7, Emily De Jesus. Shot attempt there outside the net. And Quezada playing as good as we've ever seen her play here. Just a little bit more than halfway through the first half here. Still a 0-0 score. Quezada surveying, trying to find some open bulldogs. And boots that one down into the best position that she can find. Hoping some of her better skill players can walk away with it. LEHS Reyes able to get past 2. Sneaks that one past the 50. Everett with 1 in front. 2v1 situation. Passes it over. Rosa Potter with it again. And it looks like we're going to get an offsides call against English. I think that's what it is. I've seen 14 soccer games now. And anytime you got a kid on a fast break like that, they blow the whistle. Somebody stepped ahead. A shallow boot to get things going for the Crimson Tide. A little bit of back and forth. And trying to catch English out of position. That one passes the 50 towards English territory yet again. On the move, able to get past 1. Passes that one off to number 22 out of Everett. Trying for the shot attempt and squandered by the English defense. Sophia Arana Quintanilla, number 22, the junior out of Everett, a name we've been calling throughout much of the game. Quezada with the rock and deciding where she's going to start on placement, going near side of the box. And surveying. She's looking at the bottom side of your frame. And gave us the old oop-de-oop. That one off of English. Sorry, that one off of Everett. English quick on the inbound. Not quick enough to keep Everett from retreating back into defensive position. Inbound coming from Jayliana Concepcion off of a bulldog right back into English possession. The inbound, Giselle Lemus. English with a 2v1 situation here. 2v3 situation. And losing possession of that one, number 1, Giselle Arazo, I believe, out of Everett. Correction, number 8, Kayla Andrade. 0-0 as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Shot opportunity from way far out. Easy save for Quezada. And Quezada taking her time on placement. A long boot. Just one bounce over to the 50. Everett defense there to close things in quickly. Casey Martinez, first to get the touch after the kick from Quezada. Everett volleying back and forth between the English offense. Everett able to move across the 50. English defense quick to put an end to the advancement. Right back to place. Everett doing a better job at trying to find some open lanes. Players are a little bit more spread out. And a good heads-up play by Madeline Sun. Sun putting the works in on the strikers. Emily DeJesus, one of the better skilled players out there for Everett. Playing mostly in the middle of that field, about 10 yards out. Quick inbound. Everett trying to fight for it closer and closer to English territory. Back and forth. English defense knocks that one away. Jayliana Concepcion puts an end to the attempt by Everett. Short volley is going to result in an English inbound far side of the field. That one bounces English. And Everett, the first to get there. Off of the Bulldogs, back into Crimson Tide possession. And a good strong kick by the Bulldogs defense. Trying to get that one across the 50. A long kick squandered by the English defense yet again. Positioning for the English defense has been clutch for much of the game. The Lady Bulldogs finding themselves in 2v2 situations, 2v1 and 2v3 situations against the opposition. Giving Quezada a good opportunity to survey the field and see in any other incoming threats. A big boot coming off of the foot of Quezada, bounces up and over 2 players past that half mark. English with an opportunity to push it further into Crimson Tide territory. Everett quick to knock that one out in order to give the Crimson Tide an opportunity to retreat back onto defense. And the inbound knocked away by Everett. A header from Emily DeJesus. DeJesus passes it off. Kayla Andrade, They're on an opportunity. Knocked out of bounds by the Lady Bulldogs. And an inbound coming from the far side of the field. And a little bit hairy of an opportunity there. Luckily for the Bulldogs, Kimoni Munn, junior out of Lynn English, was there to knock it away. And I'm sure Quezada had a couple of heartbeats skip a few steps there. That doesn't make sense. But you know what I'm trying to get at. Everett with another inbound, a high volley. Good heads-up play by Halen Romero to knock that one out and allow the defense to reposition. Everett quick on the inbound, trying to find some open players. They find one in a 2v1 situation. Everett can't maintain possession. That one off of the head of Emily De Jesus. And the Lady Bulldogs to inbound from their own territory, far side of the field. Everett quick to come in and get their touch. An opportunity and a shot from way out, gobbled up by Quezada. Quezada with a long boot, right to where she wants it. LEHS Reyes, the first on the touch. Rosa Pata trying to close in on it. And Halen Romero, the last to get the touch. Emily De Jesus out of Everett wondering, why am I being called? My palms are in the air. I am dissatisfied with your call, sir. LEHS Reyes. Thinking about taking it. Passes the responsibility off to Halen Romero. Romero surveying. Could be a call or accuracy or power. Short kick there, influenced by the Crimson Tide defense. Back into English territory. And English able to get there. That's Kareem Rodriguez Aguilon. And Quezada comes up and stops the advance on her own accord. 0-0 as we approach the 5-minute mark here in the first half. Thanks for tuning in to Lynn Educational Television. If you're watching on our YouTube pages, please like, subscribe, smash that notification bell for all the up-to-date sports and events happening right here in the Lynn Public Schools District. I'm your announcer, Sean Donahue, saying thanks for you to tuning in. I want to say thanks to our crew from Lynn English. We got Rebecca and Zach up here on the perch bringing you these smooth and steady shots. Failed header attempt by the Everett defense. Gives English an opportunity to retreat back into a better defensive position here. And Everett taking those shots a little bit more shallower and shallower. Quezada still quick on the save. A long boot, one bounce up and over the 50. English trying to influence it. Able to get further and further. 2v1 situation. Able to get past one. And a trip up. And Everett's number 4. Going to get called on that one. Giselle Romero getting her yellow card. The victim, so to say, on the play, Madeline Sun. Sun looks okay. Bounces right back up. Gets back into it. Crystal Romero on the kick for English. Surveying. Romero looking shallow, looking far. Trying to find some help with an Lady Bulldog. And offside's call there. It's going to force English to retreat back into defensive territory. Everett on the boot. Near side of the field. Right back over the 50. English defense reluctant to allow any advance sustain itself. 2v1 situation in favor of Everett. On the move now, Crystal Romero. Romero pulls back. Gets a pass. Loses possession there. Everett defense quick to retreat and knock that one away. 3 minutes here in the first. Everett trying relentlessly to put one onto the board before time runs out here in the first half. English working like dogs to keep it from happening. Back and forth, stolen away by Everett. Trying to come in and closing in quickly. LEHS Reyes. Reyes able to influence across the 50. Kareem Rodriguez-Aguilon, one of the last to touch it for the Lady Bulldogs. Everett working to get across the half mark, back into English territory. Able to get past one. Good solid boot. A little bit too far out in front. It's going to give Quezada an opportunity to get there, and the English attack coming up screaming. And a shot attempt deflected by the English defense. So the Everett attack, rather, coming up. Trying for a shot on net. Defense getting into position to knock that one away. So we'll go with the corner kick. And Everett's Sofia Arana Quintanilla to take that responsibility. 2-minute marker left on the board here. Stoppage time ongoing. The inbound right in front of the crease. A header attempt failed by the Crimson Tide. And Quezada gets another prayer answered here late in the first half. Quezada surveying. English's defense reluctant to retreat into offensive position. Ball movement better and better as the seconds tick by. Jayliana Concepcion with a bit of a fight for it, able to influence it across the half mark. Everett putting an end to that shot. And off the Crimson Tide in favor of the Lady Bulldogs. And they'll be quick on the inbound, hoping to catch the Crimson Tide out of position. And not sure if we got a timeout or if we've got the conclusion of the first half. It looks like we might have a timeout from Coach Pat. Inbound coming from far side of the field. Everett, one of the first to get there, influences it back into position. Good back and forth passing from the Crimson Tide, trying to spread out the English defense. The attempt there coming off of the foot of number 22. Sofia Arana Quintanilla. And Quezada coming out to stop another advance yet again. Quezada with the long boot. One bounce and over the 50. And it looks like that's going to be the half. So at the end of the first half, English 0, Everett 0. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back for the second half. This GBL matchup, 0-0. And a bit of a defensive struggle. Thanks for tuning in to Lynn Educational Television. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, smash that notification bell for all the up-to-date sports and events happening within the Lynn Public Schools. I'm your announcer, Sean Donahue. Thanks to our crew for English for coming out and filming this one. Rebecca and Zach up in the perch. The kickoff from English here to start the second half. And the name of the game has been Everett with possession. And the English defense quick to retreat and put an end to any attempts by the Crimson Tide. But as the game got closer and closer to halftime, you started seeing a lot more opportunities for the Lady Crimson Tide. Go to the far side of the field for the corner kick for English. Sorry, Everett. And the corner kick placement a little shallow. Everett able to put a little bit of smoke on it. Missed the mark about a foot wide to the right. Quezada with the kick from the goalkeeper's territory. And Quezada fake it short, going a little longer. And Everett, first to touch it for the Bulldogs, Jenelise Reyes. That one rolls off the toes of the Crimson Tide. And Everett with another opportunity to inbound. Far side of the field. And then high inbound off of Everett. And first to get a good handle on it, Madeline Sun. It's on right back to her. Has to retreat back defensively, surveying ahead, looking for a little bit of help. And Quezada forced to come up and out, put an end to that one, and hustles up to the top of the key for a long boot. Bounces up and over the 40. And Everett going to get called. I think that one might have grazed the hand. So Melanie Ribeiro last to touch for the Crimson Tide. Halen Romero with the kick. Romero with 2 in front. Likes to go up and high. And able to sneak that one past the Crimson Tide defense. Everett quick to retreat. And rolls off of the Lady Tide. Number 13, Lena Lopez-Chavez, senior out of English. To inbound, near side of the field. And the inbound favoring Everett. Everett trying to get back into scoring position. Lady Bulldogs reluctant to allow any sustainability on an attempt. And a tiptoe across the yellow line, able to keep that one in. Crystal Romero, good heads-up play, closer and closer to the goal keep out of Everett. And a good job by number 77, Gabriela Menjivar. And not a lot of opportunities to call out Menjivar's name. That's a compliment towards the Crimson Tide defense. Last time these teams matched up, Everett walked away with a 1-0 victory. Number 10 seed in the GBL hosting the number 6 seed in the GBL. Both teams coming off of a loss to Chelsea in their last games, 3-1 loss for English and a 2-0 loss for Everett. English right now standing at a record of 1-10-1. Everett with a record of 4-7-1. Next game for the Crimson Tide is going to be versus Classical in Everett. And the Lady Bulldogs will host Somerville, 4 p.m. on Thursday this week. Quezada with the inbound. And trying to get that one over to Crystal Romero. Just a little bit too high on the bounce. 2v2 situation in favor of English. Everett's able to get past 2. Everett playing a little bit shallower, hoping to find some open lanes and pull some of those English defenders up. And they can't really just get that clean of a handle on it. As a result, there's been a lot of inbounds far side of the field. Everett on the push again. Halen Romero knocks that one out. Puts an end to that attempt. Inbound coming from Everett. Off of English, 2v2 situation. London Sang influences that one closer into Everett territory. Squandered by the defense out of Everett. Able to get past one. An opportunity to get in front of the net. Trying to move with it. Number 7. Takes a shot. Emily De Jesus. Couldn't get a clean kick on it. Wide right. And we'll go to Quezada for the kick. Thanks to our Comcast and Verizon subscribers. Without you, we wouldn't be able to teach television media to the student body here from middle school to high school. Also gives us the opportunity to allow kids to work and pad the stats on their resume before they enter their young careers. Zach and Rebecca, 2 of our best out of Lynn English, both in their senior year, going on to bigger and better things. Looking forward to the winter season already. Quezada with the kick inbound. And Everett Can't get a clean handle on that one. Up and over after the header attempt to influence it back into English territory. And English on the inbound near side of the field. Back and forth volley. That one going to be off of Everett. And it looks like we got number 13, Lena Lopez Chavez, on the ground. And maybe just the wind knocked out of her. She's quick to get up, walking on her own power. Hand up, looking for a sub. Not going to get it. Back to work, kid. Everett on the inbound, near side of the field. English with the first touch. 2v2 situation. Everett doing a good job to box out. And an attempt on a quick inbound. Squandered by the turf monster. And the Everett defense knocking that one out of bounds. Looking to the Crimson Tide to do all the running. Inbound rolls up and over Odalise Sandoval. I've seen more over-the-head throws in this game than we have seen for Classical all football season. Halen Romero looking to find some open Bulldogs. 3v2 situation benefiting English. English volleys back in order to find a lane. Everett squanders it, gets right back to work. Everett finding a little bit of space up at the top. Works that one down low. Everett has an opportunity here. Goes for the shot attempt. Saved by Quezada. Quezada, brick wall out there, getting all the applause from the stands. Quezada boots that one. One bounce up and over the 40. Close to the 50. Everett defense retreats. Knocks that one back towards English territory. Everett doing a good job of playing the short game, trying to find the lanes. Halen Romero, good job of getting in front. Pushes that one back towards Everett territory. Opportunity squandered by number 23, Casey Martinez, the senior out of Everett. 2v1 situation. Halen Romero takes advantage. Knocks that one up and out. Everett to inbound near side of the field. Melanie Ribeiro, tasked with that responsibility. Decides to hand it off to, can't tell you the number, because we've got the longest ponytail in the history of Manning Field history. Everett now on the push again. Deacon right, then back left. Finds an open player, knocked away by Romero. Romero forced defensively here in the second half. A little bit of back and forth. Madeline's son able to influence that one. Jayliana Concepcion, the last player to touch it, can't influence it in favor of English. Janelise Reyes working to get it up and back into Everett territory. Romero again knocks that one out, giving the Lady Bulldogs an opportunity to retreat into a better position defensively. Quick inbound for the Crimson Tide. These guys tasting it. Closer and closer they get. Closer shot opportunity coming in off of the last shot by the Crimson Tide. Quezada doing a good job of getting in front, gobbling up that shot. The throw-in from English, far side of the field, a bit of volley back and forth. Nobody with clear position or possession until now. Everett working their way up. Couple in front. Quezada puts an end to the opportunity, and Everett leaves that one out a little bit too far out in front for the strikers to get to. Rolls out of bounds as it crosses the 50. Crystal Romero on the throw-in. Back to Romero, out of bounds on the catch. So she goes with another inbound. Everett with one in front, squandered by the Everett English with one in front, squandered by the Everett defense. And a high kick. A lot of chit-chat down low. Everett defense doing a good job at being in position to knock those passes back into English territory. It's been the name of the game for most of it. English's defense doing a great job to retreat and find themselves in a position in order to put an end to any attempts on a score. Quezada, the big player on defense, doing her job. And a shout out to Halen Romero, number 4. The sophomore, doing what she's got to do to get in those Everett passing lanes. Kick attempt from Quezada ends up back into Everett position. 2v1 situation, center of the field. 2v1 situation in favor of Everett. Everett working up, near side of the field, has one to beat, a couple in front. Can she line up the kick? Gets it to the middle, knocked away by the English defense. Everett still with possession. Everett trying to close in. The defense for English is in a spot where they've retreated. Opportunity there, knocked away by the English defense. So we'll go to the corner, near side of the field. And I can't tell you if it's 18 or if it's 10. Could be Rivera, who also plays goal. And the corner kick a little bit further upfield than intended. Off of Everett, English ball. English surveying. A little bit more time and care on this inbound. And that one intended for number 11, Crystal Romero. Romero must not have gotten the memo, unless I got the number wrong. Could be number 13 as well. Quezada fields the shot. Boot up high. Kicked by the Everett defense back into English territory. Far side of the field on the throw-in. Looking to the adjacent. That one off of English. Everett to inbound. Far side of the field, about half mark. Looking long, but has an outlet shallow. On the throw-in, English the first to touch. An opportunity right there for number 11 out of Everett. Rosa Romero. Seemingly always in the right place at the right time. English defense reluctant to allow any further advance by the Crimson Tide. Last time these teams faced off, Everett walked away with a 1-0 score. Had an opportunity to talk to Coach Pat before the game, and had a heavy heart about that one. Last-minute score is how they ended their last matchup. So, for the push, English hosting GBL rival Everett here on this chilly October evening. Rain most of the day, coming off of the Columbus Day weekend. And just clearing up about 45 minutes before start time of this game. 2v1 situation in favor of Everett. Able to sneak past one. Knocked back by the English defense. Good job by the Everett defense. Has retreated in perfect position. They know where the leg strength is for Quezada. Opportunity in front, 3v2 situation in favor of English. Shot attempt, just couldn't get a handle on that one. And had the opportunity there. Odalise Sandoval there on the shot attempt. Wide left. Quezada on the kick. A little bit more shallow than we saw in the beginning. Off of Everett, back English. English a little bit more aggressive on this throw-in. Surveying, goes the length of the field. Off of Crystal Romero. Another throw-in for Everett. And Everett with a 3v1 situation. And looks like an infraction on Everett. It's going to benefit English. Halen Romero wearing number 4 on the boot. Long one, up and over the 50, one in front. English with an opportunity to get this one in front. Takes the push, and I believe it came from her own teammate. And is going to get a yellow card. So that yellow card being issued to number 5, Ava Jones. And Jones with the palms up in the sky, not sure exactly what had happened or why. So English to maintain possession here, deep in Everett territory. Crystal Romero tasked with the boot. Looking to come up and over and find a header. First on the touch is Everett. And that one sails out of bounds. And we'll go to the corner for a corner kick by the Lady Bulldogs. And Romero's going to get a second attempt at it. Romero lining it up. And English all spread out inside. The kick from Romero influenced back and out by Everett. And we'll see a throw in near side of the field coming from Halen Romero. Romero with one in front sends it to the front of the crease with nobody in place but the Everett Crimson Tide. Everett knocks that one out. Gives the defense an opportunity to retreat back in a position. English trying to open up some lanes. Good kick downfield by the Everett defense. English, for a while now, has had the Crimson Tide on their heels. I think they see the opportunity here, and they're going to try to make the most out of it. A good job by number 14, Odalise Sandoval, to move that one closer and closer into Everett territory. Everett on the inbound, near side of the field. Looking closer to the crease. And not sure if somebody touched it. Infraction against English, nonetheless. Going to set up an opportunity for a kick. So up and over, header high up and over the crossbar. And Quezada, more prayers answered. Good setup by the English attack. Quick throw in. English trying to maintain possession and get this out of their own territory. Everett reluctant to allow that to happen. Another opportunity at a shot high and up and over the crossbar. That one coming from number 8, Kayla Andrade, sorry. Quezada comes out. Lines it up again. Goes a little bit more shallow. Off the Crimson Tide. English to throw in from the far side of the field. Header attempt from the Crimson Tide results in another throw in for English. English advancing further and further into territory as these out of bounds balls continue to work their way up. And that one, I believe, is going to be off of English. The throw in from Everett. An attempt to get downfield, knocked out by LEHS Reyes, the sophomore out of Lynn English. Everett with the inbound. Goes shallow. English can't get a clean handle on that one. That one says Everett ball. Everett defense doing a good job at keeping any advancement at least 5 to 10 yards out from the keep. Quezada to take this one herself. Stand-up game from Quezada. A little bit of luck, a lot of bit of skill. Quezada with the boot. Everett on the first touch. Everett in a position now. Knocked away by the English defense. Much of the English defense is close in towards Quezada. Find themselves out of position on that transition. Jaliana Concepcion, one of the last on the defensive effort on that attempt. And a slide tackle, no call, and a lot of jabbering coming off of the English bench looking for that one. And they ain't going to get it. So no cards issued. English with the throw-in. Trying to find Reyes. Reyes can't get a handle on it. Everett pushes it back in. Defensive player screaming up. English now with one in front. Trying on a fast break attempt. Everett defense closing in quickly. 1v1 situation. Can she influence it? Gets the influence. Pushes it closer into Everett territory. Rolls out of bounds. Everett with the throw-in near side of the field. And a substitution coming in for Everett. Coming in off of the bench, number 22, Sophia Arana Quintanilla. Everett with the throw-in near side of the field. Up and over a defender and offensive player. Everett pushing further and further. English defense quick to retreat. Knocks that one out of bounds. Gives the Lady Bulldogs an opportunity to get back into position defensively. So we'll go with the corner kick. throw-in. Sorry. So turning of the guard, Sofia Arana Quintanilla on the corner kick. Lines it up with the kick right out in front. An opportunity washed away by poor placement. Quezada to take this one. The Lady Bulldogs retreat, try to find themselves in a better position offensively. A shallow kick intercepted by Everett. Attempt at a shot knocked away by Romero. A 3v2 situation. Everett comes away with it. Gets that one out in front. Shot attempt. And a goal late here in the second half. And on the goal, once we can get you a number, I believe it's number 7. Out of Everett. Sorry, number 8. So Kayla Andrade, the first and only goal of the game. And the kickoff from the half mark. English gets right to it. So just about 3/4 of the way through the second half here. And first goal is scored by Everett. And they were wandering right in front of Quezada. Shot attempt there, gobbled up. Put back into play by Gabriela Menjivar. Menjivar surveying, goes with the boot. English first on the touch. Everett retreats to get position and possession. 2v2 situation here. Moves it up. Everett on another opportunity to strike. English defense doing their best to box him out. And a great heads-up play by Brianna Ortega, the senior captain out of Lynn English, to put a stop to the advance. Quezada takes the track to get the ball and get it back into play. And we'll see a kick on the top of the box. Quezada with a long kick up and over, back into Everett possession. Everett on the push again. Slowing it down, trying to set something up. Knocked away by the English defense. 2v1 situation in favor of Everett. Everett able to influence it back to an adjacent player. They're not going to be there in time. That one's going to roll out of bounds. And English to inbound far side of the field. They'll give that responsibility to Madeline Sun, sophomore out of Lynn English. And she'll go the length of the field for the inbound. Back and forth at that 50, far side of the field, much of the game. Everett showing their conditioning. An opportunity to get that one in front. A little bit too much steam on it. I think that one was intended for Emily De Jesus. And even if De Jesus' legs were about 2 feet longer, I don't know if she could have got there on time. Quezada to get things rolling from the crease. Quezada surveying. Going near side of the field on a shallow kick. Stolen away and knocked back into play by Everett. Everett able to get past one. English's defense does a good job to close that one out. Another heads-up play by Halen Romero, sophomore out of Lynn English, to put an end to that advance by the Crimson Tide. Back and forth. English influences that closer and closer into Everett territory. A long kick 1v1 situation. Lynn English with one in front, can't get past him. Number 21, Rose Zapata. Zapata can't get in front. And the English defense doing a good job to retreat and knock down that fast break attempt. Now working to get back in their own territory. English's defense a little out of possession here. Quezada's got to come up and put a stop to it, and she does. 1-0. 8 minutes left here in the second half. High volley, knocked back towards Everett territory by the English defense. English trying for it again. Everett defense playing up tight, reluctant to allow anything past that 50 on any short kicks. And a push call here for sure. The infraction against English, Halen Ramiro. Didn't see much any other way to get past it and try to get the Lady Bulldogs back into position defensively. Liv Simon on the kick. Looking in front. Bounce up and over English. And trying to get there. And they're going to give the goal. And who are they going to give it to? Nobody's sure. We got one player saying, was it me? Everyone's running and nobody's not sure who to give the love to. And we'll chalk it up to a team goal. So 2-0, two late scores here. I'm not sure who to attribute the goal to on that one. And I'm seeing a lot of kisses being blown by number 22, Sofia Arana Quintanilla. So I got to assume it was her. You don't blow kisses unless you score goals in soccer, no? English with a pretty big hole to dig themselves out of. Everett really just playing the possession game at this point. Everett still quick, showing their conditioning. Quick and steady. Everett again on the push. This time coming from number 4, Giselle Lemus. English on an opportunity. Everett defense too quick to retreat. 6.5 left here. 2-0 in favor of Everett. Couple of substitutions coming in off of the bench for Lynn English. Coach Papp trying to get some of his younger players some work and some of these veterans some rest for the final minutes of this game. Throw in from the corner. And a stoppage in the game. Looks like an infraction against English. Sorry, an infraction against Everett. English on the throw-in. Near side of the field. Close towards the keep. And that one bounces on the side of the net, out of bounds. And a shallow kickoff puts the Lady Crimson Tide back in a position to advance closer and closer to English territory. Knocked back by the Lady Bulldogs defense. Good heads-up play and good positioning by London Seng to get that one back. Everett on the throw-in. Bit of a scrum for it off of English, back to Everett for the throw-in. Well, it looks like English is going to be the beneficiary of that call. Longer throw-in. English with one in front. And attended there on the reception, number 3, LEHS. Crimson Tide defense quick to put an end to it. Stoppage time of this game underway as we speak. Everett to throw in, far side of the field. Bit of back and forth. Everett comes out the victor as that ball rolls closer and closer into English territory. And not a great position or kick on it. An opportunity here. And it looks like we got a whistle. A player down. Quezada certainly caught out of position there. Tries to come out and boots it away. Can't get a good handle on it. And a stoppage in the game is going to save her from another goal. So 2-0. Crimson Tide over the Lady Bulldogs. And the boot coming from Romero. Skip, hop, and a jump. Can't get it over to the half mark. English retreating. 2v1 situation. Tough kick. Up and off the chest of one of the Lady Crimson Tide players, and demonstrates some solid toughness on that one. And just a few minutes left in this one. Not sure English is going to be able to pull it out. They'd need a miracle and a few prayers answered in order to get it. But never say never. On the push, 3v2 situation. Everett's defense gets in front of the passing lane, knocks that one away. Rolling out. English to throw in far side of the field. Everett able to get back into position. English still fighting for it, vying for possession with a 3v1 situation. Brianna Ortega quick to make it happen. That one influenced towards Quezada, gobbled up by the goalkeeper out of Lynn English. With the boot. First to touch is Everett. Knocks it back into English territory. Trying for it again. There's Liv Simon. Getting tripped up on the ball, still playing with it. Keeping possession, and English's defense going to knock that one away to allow the Lady Bulldogs to retreat into better position defensively. And a long retreat for this one. Looks like it's going to be a corner kick and a shallow reception. And she didn't set the ball down. So a ref says, hey, please do it again. Okay. Is that what you want? That's what she said. And a little bit of a trip up there, infraction, going to be against Everett. English going to change possession, and the Everett defense screaming up. Try to put a halt to any of that, and they do effectively. Good work to get past one. Can't get the kick on that one. And a bit of a tackle. And we see a lot of those here at Manning, but usually not during soccer. So Romero playing tough out there on the receiving end of a tough play. Bounces right back up. No excuses. Love that. And that's going to be it. Everett's going to walk away with their second victory against Lynn English. They're going to improve to a record of 5-7-1. Next game for the Crimson Tide is going to be versus Classical. So Everett working their way up into the seeding. English still at number 10. Their record is going to fall to 1-11-1. Much improvement over these last two seasons by the Lady Bulldogs and Coach Pap. Kudos to them. Players like Janelise Reyes, Halen Romero, and Aura Quezada putting the work in this season to show the improvement. At the end of 2 here at Manning Field, I'm Sean Donahue, your announcer from Lynn Educational Television. 2-0 Everett over the Lady Bulldogs. From the perch up here at Manning Field, I'm Sean, saying thanks to our crew from Lynn English and wishing you all the best.